Welcome back. In this session, we'll go through the daily activities what the user might be expected to do. So the user might want to run a report of all the visits related to a particular doctor, a particular kind of visit, and of course the status. You can always do a reporting like that, and then it will show you all the kinds of visits that you or any particular patient had with that given doctor. You can always remove the doctors which are not of relevance to you, and accordingly the report will be immediately updated, and you can always then make use of this report for the relevant purposes. So this is about the schedule reporting. Now, this is the next one that I'm going to talk about is the patient maintenance. You can, first of all, you need to search for which patient you are going to look for, or which patient do you want to maintain. So you can base your search based on the last name, first name, city, zip, phone number or email, any of them, and it'll show you all the relevant details of all the relevant patients that match the criteria that you had provided. Now, as part of this, you can always have multiple addresses, etc. So it will show you all the addresses that are relevant to any particular patient for that matter. You will be able to shortlist them based on that, and then the patient that you want to go into, it will show you the hyperlink. So as soon as you have identified the patient that you wanted to work with, it will give you the option to go directly to that patient, or if that patient is a new one, you can always add that patient through the add new button. Now, once you go into the patient details, it will show you the patient's details in a brief, where it shows the name, gender, height, weight, date of birth, the address itself, and the contact details, and some other quick tips in case if there are any allergies, etc., that you want to mention. You can always mention them. Also, it shows you, which is an important feature which was recommended by quite a lot of doctors, and that was about the relatives. So in case if this patient had some relatives, those relatives will show up here based on the address combination. So naturally, for you to be a relative to someone else, you are basically sharing a particular address with that relative, and that is how the relation is being maintained here. As part of the personal details, you can always change the picture you want by selecting a different picture from the what you have already. You can upload a new picture, you can change the name, address, height and weight, etc. You can also put in any new allergies or any other new quick tips that you want to add to that patient. You can also add or delete addresses. Again, now here, as I said, that the relation is maintained based on the address themselves. As soon as you delete a particular address, you'll see that the relation also gets updated. So as soon as you deleted a particular address, the relation also gets updated here. Also, at the same time, you can pre-fill the address. So if you do not want to key in the address again, and you also want to make use of the relations functionality, all you need to do is you need to ask if there is any other patient, or if there is any other member of the family who is a regular visitor at this doctor's place. You can always search for that, and then you can add the address of that person into this, and thereby it adds that address here, as well as it adds or updates the relation that you had with them. Also, at any point of time, you can have one address as your primary contact, so you can always select which of the address is your primary contact. The next one is the contact itself. So you can have as many contacts as you want. You can always share the contacts with other patients. So you can always make use of any of those contact details that you have. So anyway, since I already had this contact, I can always delete this contact and then pre-fill it again. This way we can have that contact getting added over there. So this is how you can always pre-fill that contact, and you can, after submitting this data, you can always have it as a record. As part of the consultation, here it shows you, in case if the patient is coming in for a consultation, you can always pick up what kind of consultation it is, for which we maintain the consultation type through the lookups. So these are the drop down possibles right now. Which doctor, so you maintain the list of doctors, what date and time is this consultation happening at, so you can always provide that detail. You can provide that detail of what date and time is the consultation there, and what symptoms and what details. And in case if any images, so in case if you had taken some x-rays or pictures as part of the consultation, you can always upload those images, and then the consultation itself is then is added to the history. So you can always, at any point of time, you can always update the history as required. So this is about the consultation. Now similarly the diagnosis. So in case if you are asking the patient to go to a lab, a pathology lab, for some kind of blood work to be done, you can always add the diagnosis details. So it, for this particular consultation that happened on 17/9, this particular pathologist is going to do the diagnosis on a particular date and time that you would like to see, and the report for which will be available on a particular date, and then of course the details etc. you can provide. This way it gives you the complete diagnosis or you can provide the complete diagnosis for the given patient. Similarly the treatment, so in case if the patient is undergoing some kind of a treatment for a given consultation, you can always provide those details. The follow-up details themselves, where you provide the consultation, you provide the what kind of follow-up is that for. So is that for a follow-up for consultation, is that a follow-up for diagnosis, is that a follow-up for treatment, you can provide those information. And finally the payments, so what kind of payment is the patient making, was that for a consultation, diagnosis, treatment, or follow-up, you can always provide those details. And of course finally it also gives you the complete list of the visits that the user had for against or within this organization. And of course, as I said, it also shows you the relation, so you can always go to a particular relation and you can always check for the history, what kind of consultations did this patient have. And while showing the consultation details or the diagnosis details, it'll also give you all the details of all the other details, like against this consultation, what, when was the treatment, or what all dates did this patient have treatment, what kind of follow-ups, what kind of payments, etc. It shows you all those details nicely put within the history there itself. So you have one stop information for that patient, or rather not only that patient but even his relatives. So the way, as I said, that this relative was related to this person, so they are actually mutually related. So that is the idea, or that is what it shows through this application. So this is about the patient details. And as you might have seen, as soon as I scheduled this new patient, it showed up on the calendar itself. Similarly, I can also maintain the doctors within the organization. I can always add or delete the doctors that are working for me in my polyclinic. So I can maintain each of those doctors' addresses and the contacts. Now the doctors and the patients are maintained separately. So even if your doctor is a patient, you can always maintain them separately, and they do not really correlate with each other. Now, for the doctors, it also has more or less the same details: the name, gender, date of birth, address, contact. It also has optional activities like education and experience. Again, it depends on practice whether you want to maintain that kind of an information. And of course, some other quick tips, like in case if the doctor is going to be on leave on a particular date, etc., you can also always mention and maintain that and that kind of an information. You can always keep a track of the personal details for any given doctor. You can always put the quick tips here. You can maintain the addresses, you can maintain the contacts. Again, for both addresses and contacts, you can at any point of time, you can delete, you can add more contacts, what kind of education. Again, if the doctor is pursuing more and more education, you can keep on adding those education here. And of course, the experience, in case if he has more and more experience, you can always have those additional experience added. So all in all, this is about docplus. I hope you enjoyed the demo. As soon as I log off, it will log me off from this current session, and it will take me back to the login screen, proving that I have logged off successfully. Thanks. I am sure you must have enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.